don't even know how to stream or do anything. Um, Yikes. So where is the man's? It's the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper. Where is he? This way? Yes. This is Nana. Southern Nana. Southern style Nana. Best video. And this one. The Guten Shop. You're currently exhausted. You just have a guy complete all of Lemuria on his last character. That's so nice of you. That's so nice of you. That's so nice of you. There's just one dude. But there is a golem. But there's just one dude. The candy bar has 3 gnomes, not this one. Okay. But there's a golem here, so you know. There's a golem. Golems are cool, and he's also death. Oh no. Oh no, he's gonna ghoul me to death. Oh no. This is gonna do like 5. 5. Just kidding. 1, 2, 3. Satisfying. Satisfying. Very satisfying. Beep. Kablam. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Frick this. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Goodbye. Bye-bye. See you later. Actually, I've got a lot of PS. Let's try this. Let's try this. I want to test my PS, actually. He probably has like 100 resist plus a 70 death shield. Let's see how good I am. This is a litmus test for how good I am, Benovus. Also, I hate when this happens. Kings up, please fix. Let's see how much damage this does. This will either do a lot or not a lot. No in between. Bum, 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 bum. I think that test run will be on I think that Novus will be on test run next week. I think it's about that time. I think it's about that time. Yeah. That did a little bit. Yeah. Right. Kablamo. You didn't get any new gear, so I'm gonna have to carry you. What do you mean carry you? I already carry you. Oh my gosh, that was close. That was actually kind of close. They released the last teaser on TikTok. Yeah, I didn't actually redeem that code. Oh well. I did have I did buy the membership bundle thing. It seems like kind of a good deal. Not gonna lie. All of the crowns plus the membership, and then a mount and the housing item. Don't really care about the housing item. The pet looks kind of weird and cool though. I kind of like the pet. Yeah. You bought the obsidian one. I bought the gold one. The one that's like 48 hours. Because I'm like, you know what? Might as well. Might as well. Well, that was not cool or fun. All good? Yeah. What is the... Did I redeem the mount? Yeah. If I redeem the mount, I'd have... Let's look at the mount. It's kind of a cool mount. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like the mount. It's kind of like spooky and cool. I kind of like it. So what? It's not Heidi. What is the thing? What is the thing that has 3? The candy bar. Where's the candy bar? This actually matches my stitch real well, eh? Regional office. This is where we were. Where's the candy bar? Is this the candy bar? This is not the candy bar. This is Heidi. And it's not Heidi. Where is candy bar? Where is the candy bar? Why does it not show up on the map? And it's not in the copycat place. It might have been a one-time thing. It's not the copycat one. It's not in here. It was a solo quest in Caramel. Ah, then yeah, it's probably a one-time thing. Most of the solo quest things are like one time. That sucks. I actually kind of like this mount. It's a bit slower though. It's a little bit slow. The pet, by the way, where is he? His name's Sassy. It's like a tennis ball with spikes. A spiky tennis ball. He's kind of cool. His myth. He gives the Bewilder card. He's kind of cool. Not gonna lie. Kind of cool. But yeah, let's just get the right pet back on. Okay. Let's head back to Sweetsburg. Beast Moon both makes me happy and saddens me at the same time. Oh no. Oh no. How come? How come? Are we doing Beast Moon in a little bit? Once we've got at least one badge. Which is the Gnome badge. No, this is you. We don't want you. We don't want you. We want Mr. Thingy-mabob. Quick Chummer. It was that boarded off building, so it's probably closed off to you now. Yeah, probably. What's the abracadoodle style? I have no idea what you mean by that. No idea what you mean by that. Please explain more. But welcome. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's blade. Let's blade. Also, welcome Anton as well. How are you? Bum, bum, bum. The abracadoodle style. There's, There's abracadabra. There's no abracadoodle. Abracadoodle's the wee little comic thing that is at the bottom of the newsletters. You just have fantastic matches and fantastically awful matches. Same. I agree. Completely agree. And people get mad at each other a lot. True. True. True, 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 true. I feel like that's a lot more prevalent, at least in my experience, for Mayhem. Mayhem's a lot more toxic because you really have to work as a team a lot more. Yeah. But, just regular Beast Moon Hunt is not quite as bad. It can be bad, but not quite as bad usually. Right. This is gonna take forever. I hate this badge already. Imagine getting 1,000 of these guys. Oh my gosh. What are we up to? 86. Let's just get 100 and then do some Beast Moon. Because I cannot do this for ages. This is gonna be one where I have to do it off stream. And just like vibe one night. And do it. Yikes. The most annoying song. You got over 200 farming quick charmer for the amulet. Fair enough. Fair enough. Imagine farming for an amulet. I would never do that. Never ever. Nope. Because with Mayhem it's a time limit and you have to work as a team and mostly do things by book. Yeah. There was a really complicated situation at the end that was very confusing. I couldn't even explain it to others in one of the matches. Oof. Yeah, I feel like there's also a lot of things that are just not as like easy to explain to people. Yeah. But then I guess if you're working with a team, some people are just gonna get it and some people aren't. And that's kind of just how it is. But yeah, I agree. Beast Moon can either be really good or really bad. Either. There's no in between. You either have really good games where you win by like lots of amounts and everyone's nice to you. And even some games where you lose, you're like, yeah, that was a good game though. And then there's just some games where you're just like, why am I still playing this game? Why? Why would I do this? do not understand. Dun 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 dun. I don't think you get it. On the first part of the Stories So Far series, you mentioned abracadabra style in the reply where I said the wizard needs puppet shows like pirate. Oh, yeah, the abracadabra style that I was mentioning. Let me show you an example. Sorry, I didn't realize what you were meaning. Hold up. Let me just find it real quick. I think it's in. Here we go. This is the sort of style that I was meaning. They have like a comic that comes out every month that has like a whole story. There's like 200 and something of them now. 209. And they're kind of like just wee little doodles like on the map. And I think if Wiz were to have some puppet shows, it would be like matching the wee little doodles on the map and stuff. And I think that would be really cute. Yeah. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Like how there's a timer when the enemy stores enough, they can win the game if they avoid fighting / capturing, or when they start dominating. Yeah, there's a domination timer, which I quite like. I've only seen it a few times, and a lot of people do not know about that. I'd love to stay for long, but it's late for you. Have a great night. Catch you later. I think it's a bit too simplistic. Yeah, sure, but like at the end of the day, the pirate ones are pretty simplistic as well. Like, it's just a very simple animation of puppets, and it fits the game, whereas this at least fits the game as well. You know, and it gives those characters a little bit more like time, because they're like the same characters that are on the map would like appear in the puppet shows if Wiz would have puppet shows, or comic strips, I guess is what they would call them. But yeah, I don't know. That was just my idea. I don't know. I don't really think Wiz needs it specifically. Wiz does a good job, especially in the first half, the first like 3/3, with narrator, which is fine. One puppet show is even laggy. Yeah, it is. It is. You can see it in the story so far. You can see in the pirate story so far that one of the puppet shows is laggy. It's right at the end. It's the last Valencia one. I think it's titled El Dorado 2. That one is laggy. It's narrated by Gazpacho. It explains the trick to, or what happened on El Dorado to Marco Polo's crew. Bum 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 ba ba dum. About puppet shows being simplistic, but for cutscenes about lore that last a few minutes, I don't think Abracadabra would work very well unless it's loading screens. I think if it was done correctly, it would work quite well. I think any form of art would be able to make a good like descriptive of important events if you do it properly. And I feel like that would be the best way for Wiz to do it with the current like how the game feels. I feel like that would be the best way to do it, because you know, the other option is to do like super duper 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 expensive in both dev time and like mainly dev time and resources, is to have like what happened at the start of Imperia, where you'd have like the cutscene of the ship like flying through. But then are you gonna want to do that for like the most key important things? Because that's super expensive, whereas like, because that uses like your character's like model, and you have to like make sure that is correct, and also the correct model for characters, and if you update them, then you have to update that. Whereas if it's just like a wee little like doodle of them, like like in the maps, for instance, it's a lot easier to be like, you know, this is what the... You'd still understand what the character is, if that makes sense. That's just my thinking of it, because also it's kind of more like a bit of a comic relief sort of thing in Pirate, you know, because a lot of the puppet shows just add a little bit of comedy into the storytelling, which I only noticed when I was like going through, like re-looking at like everything in Pirate for the story so far. Yeah. You think that whatever the card style is called would work, which gives you the magical style that doesn't stretch the budget. The card style. I don't quite get what you mean by that. But yeah, I don't think it necessarily, in my mind, the only way to do it is either that still fits within like the current sort of like aspects of the game, is you either use like abracadoodle sort of style things like the wee little doodles on the map, or you do it as like a full like scene with like the actual models of the characters, which is very, very expensive to do dev wise. The spell casting cards, that's still very expensive to do dev wise. Like that's why they only release like 7 spells a year, because that actually takes a lot of time animating it all. Whereas if it's like a doodle, all you have to do is you have to like just draw out a few, more than a few, but like, you know, you just have to draw out the scenes and then play them together. That's all you have to do. Whereas if you're like making an actual animation, that takes a lot more time. A lot more time and like resources to do. Because what happens if all of a sudden the arm just flies off or something in one of the scenes, you know, like... Yeah, whereas if it's just like a drawing, you can just like layer the drawings together and make it move itself. Which is kind of how the pirate puppet shows work. And that's why I think they're so effective, because it's like simple. It's not like super complicated, and you get the story, you get the idea, and there's also comedy built into it as well that you only can like do if you watch. You can only like understand if you watch it. Any cow art style, it may work. I don't know what that means. I don't know much about like the style of what different styles of art is. But yeah, like I don't think it's ever gonna happen, because it just doesn't fit with the game. If it was to happen, it would have happened from the start. Wizard storytelling is more like you get told what's happening, whereas pirate storytelling is more you get to see what's happening. You know, they're like showing you what's happening, whereas Wizard's just telling you. They're just telling you that, you know, Morganth's taking over the spiral. You don't necessarily like get told the whole story in like a nice wee little format. You just get told it's happening. Yeah. In Pirate 101, Fool may be my favorite Armada character. Fool is a very, very cool character. Very, very cool character. I like him a lot. Fool is fantastic. He's very well used as well. Very, very well used. Very, very well used. Right, what are we up to? We are up to 96. Sweet. But also, respectively, with Pirate, it made you be cheap, but it still has a certain high, or at least medium quality, that Abracadoodle doesn't have. But then again, it comes down to your, like, your thing. Like, that's very, like, subjective, you know? Like, if... Like, it may look like, you know, the maps look very, like, just whatever, you know? And that's fine, you can have that opinion. But if you're making a whole scene out of it, you know, I'm sure they could do something that looks just as good. in Wiz's own unique way that can be just as effective as that. But again, I don't think Wiz will ever get anything like that because it's not how Wiz's story is told. Yeah. Yeah. And also, I don't think it necessarily has to look like, you know, like a film, you know? It doesn't have to look like the rest of the game, because at the end of the day, it's just telling a story. And as long as you get the message of the story across, I don't really care how it looks. So, that's just my opinion, though. Maybe that's just terrible, but yeah. No offense for anyone, I guess. I just like it because the motion comics in video games, strange as it may sound. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Wiz doesn't have a narrator after the third arc, yeah. It was very interesting going into, like, Caramel and, Lemuria and seeing how they're working without a narrator. And it's definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting. I don't think it necessarily is a bad thing, because it's not like the narrator really added much to the story anyway. It was like, you have collected the green letter from the ghost, or something, and that's not, like, super, like, important to the story. And that's mainly what the narrator was doing. It was more like giving you a sense of, like, just, like, leading you on a little bit, which I don't really think you need at all, full stop. Like, if you took out the narrator from the whole game, not that we should, if you were, you'd still get the complete idea of the story, without the narrator, which is good. And it's like Pirate, you can get the whole story without a narrator. However, your companions are the ones that are doing most of the narration sort of work. Even though I wouldn't call them narrating the story, because they're not really. They're just there for the ride. You know, they're just, like, you know, adding their wee little charm to it, which is cool. I like that a lot. Right. I think this will be last one. Probably. Oh, no, that was it. That was it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Gnome Destroyer. Boom. 100 of 1,000. Nice. Easy. Let's do some Beast Moon.